Nil.
Now, mention Colchester United in the FA Cup, and everyone of a certain age, old fogies like me and this lot, remember just one thing: when Colchester beat mighty Leeds in 1971. But there's another, earlier, and just as remarkable chapter to their FA Cup history that not everyone remembers. But our own statsman and fanatical Colchester fan Dave Todd does. He's been looking back in time at Layer Road.
During the week, he's Jeff's right-hand man with all the facts and figures for all the weekend's games. But there is another labour of love in Dave Todd's life. The football team of his hometown are on a cup run that has revived memories of famous days in the history of Colchester United.
OK, so here we are in the boardroom. First thing you see, pride of place. The biggest moment in the club's history, beating the best team in the country, Leeds, 3-2.
And why has that gone down in folklore so much?
It was on TV for starters, and Leeds at the time were perhaps not Chelsea of today, but certainly Manchester United a few years ago. They're full of household names. Colchester's team were all sort of 30s, 40s. Graham's granddads, they were called, sort of all at the end of their career. This is the castle built in by the Normans in the 12th century. In 71, when we played Leeds, the manager at the time, Dick Graham, said he'd climb up the walls of the castle if we beat them. They did, of course, and he had to do it all the way up to the top there, to where the tree is.
But 23 years earlier, they achieved far greater giant killings. As a non-league side, they took on some of the best teams in England, and the town was gripped with cup fever.
It's only tucked away around here in the corner in the meeting room that you finally see a mention of the glorious team of 48. This is it to a man. It was the first instance of the modern era of a non-league team beating a first division side. So yeah, it caught the imagination of the nation at the time.
Len Cater here, footballer in spare time, a gas fitter by trade, in a team largely made up of spare-timers like himself, who work on market gardens or in factories. Here's right back Albert Kettle at his bench as an electrical machinist.
Vic Keeble was a 17-year-old looking to break into the Colchester team and remembers 3 times league title winners Huddersfield coming to take on the part-timers in the 3rd round.
The thoughts that they were coming to Layer Road, you know, just doesn't seem quite right somehow. No. But to get them there, and we knew, or certainly the lads did then, they knew that when they came to our place, they would be playing on a small pitch. The crowd were right on top of them. They had a penalty, and Harry Wright, our goalkeeper, he got hold of the ball. And say after the line, he went and he got the ball and he screwed the ball, literally screwed the ball down on the penalty spot, literally did, and it was fairly well in. And when the fella went up, he didn't do anything. Never went and took and replaced the ball or anything. He went up, took the penalty, and it bubbled straight into Harry's arms, you know. And everybody in the ground knew what had happened.
So, with the help of a little gamesmanship, the Giants were slain, and next up, 2nd Division Bradford Park Avenue in the 4th round. 16,000 packed into Layer Road, and the U's raced into a 2-1 lead.
Then, before half-time, Bradford came back when their centre-forward Ainsley made it 2-2. In the second period, the home team went all out for victory, and they were rewarded just after the restart when Cutting ran through and scored a beautiful goal. That was the winner. When the match was over, how the triumphant Colchester 11 were mocked.
Not a lot's changed, really. 55 years on from then, 55, 60 years. The bar side, as you see it, might have been a bit of mud banking, but that's not changed all around here. There used to be some old elm trees across here, and they were full of people just hanging out of them, trying to watch the game on the roofs of this stand.
It brought the whole place, for all the games, the whole town was alive. And they did nothing but talk about the match from week to week. Yeah. That match, after it had been played, before it was played. Incredible, really. Yeah.
A trip to Blackpool was the reward, and even the mayor turned out to hail player-manager Ted Fenton and his players.
Well, Mr. Fenton, we wish you the very best of luck. We're sure your plan will work, and when you come back, we'll have some native oysters ready open for you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's very, very nice of you, and I'm sure that the lads will go to Blackpool and really fight very hard and bring something back to the people of Colchester and the town of Colchester. and I will keep you to that promise of those oysters, and we'll eat them with very much relish, and it won't be Yorkshire or Lancashire relish. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. These are the stuff. Here we are, boy. These are the stuff.
Yes, the Colchester native oyster. The town's famous delicacy played an important part in the preparations of Colchester's players on their unprecedented run to the last 16. And now, just as then, the town is famed for its seafood heritage, although the club's current stars don't seem to have cottoned on.
OK, modern footballers have got Jaffa cakes and jelly babies, but back in 1948, this was what filled the Colchester United side. They were discovered by the Romans 2,000 years ago. The Roman historian Pliny was quoted as saying that the only good thing to come out of Britain was the oysters.
Colchester 11 stayed in Stan Matthews Hotel, and all reports agree that Blackpool's brilliant outside ride did them proud off the field.
For the players going up and staying and meeting with the likes of Stanley Matthews must have been incredible.
It was wonderful. I mean, they all come back and said how well they'd been looked after. You know, Stanley was always about, you know, in the morning when they were up there.
Yeah, he made them breakfast.
It was terrific.
Fantastic tale.
Yeah.
Of course, Stan Matthews in action is a very different man from Stan Matthews, hotel proprietor. He certainly gave the planners something to think about, and it was from him that Munro got the opportunity to open the score for Blackpool. Parkinson scored 2. Here's his second goal and Blackpool's 4th. Finally, McIntosh did it again to give Blackpool a 5-0 victory. I'm afraid that really was an oyster for Colchester to swallow.
It did bring the team to the nation's attention for the first time. 2 years later, they were a league side, and this was what put them on the map. There was a campaign running in the town to make them a league side at the time, but this gave it the sort of gravitas it needed.
They were the first true FA Cup giant killers, and the whole town was carried away with cup fever. Now, almost 60 years on, Colchester United have a chance to make a name for themselves once more.
Be glad when this is all over. All I've heard all week is Colchester. It's intolerable.
Hey, make a change. Makes a change.
Let's cross live to Layer Road now. So very good afternoon to Phil Parkinson. Afternoon, Phil.
Afternoon.
Are you ready for this? How are you feeling?
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We're relaxed and we're looking forward to the game.
Look, I mean, we keep hearing, you know, Colchester, lowest gates in League One, but they are sitting second from top of the table. You're into the FA Cup 4th round, you know, you're into the LDV Van Southern Area final. How have you done it?
A lot of hard work from everybody at the club, and we've got a good set of players who are very honest, hungry for success, and got a lot of youngsters who are determined to succeed in this game, and you know, that helps if you have that hunger in and around the squad.
Is today's game just a bit of a bonus in a way, because promotion's the priority, I would guess?
Yeah, promotion is our priority, you're right. But what the cup competitions enable us to do is, one, earn money, which hopefully will let me keep this squad together for at least till the end of the season. And that's what we're looking for today. A great day for the town. You know, the players are really looking forward to the game, and it keeps the chairman smiling.
Have there been a lot of people sniffing around your players during the transfer window, Phil?
We've had a few phone calls. Yeah, there has been you know, a little bit of interest, which is good. You know, we expected. You know, the director's box has been packed every week watching our young players, so we did expect a little bit of interest through January. But I've got 4 or 5 more days to go, and if I get to Wednesday, I'll be a very happy man.
Look, is there anybody on your side who doesn't score goals apart from your goalkeeper? Because you know you've got Halford and Neil Dans and Iwalumo. It seems to me that you've got goals from every part of the pitch.
Yeah, you know, we've done well on that. You know, early in the season, we were creating a lot of chances and we weren't putting them away. We got Jamie Curtin on loan from Swindon for a couple of months, and he just sparked us into life in front of goal, and you know, just breathed a little bit of confidence. And the likes of Greg, you know, he's got 8 goals. Danzy, who had an injury early in the season, but is now back to his best, and every game he looks like he's going to score a goal. And obviously, big Chris up front with Gareth Williams or Richard Garcia alongside him. You know, we know we've got goals in the side.
Of course, you were at Southampton with Matt Letizia at one stage, weren't you, Phil? I mean, it must have been, you know, you must have been a few years younger than Matt, judging by looking at the two of you now. Was that the case?
Well, I was a bit worried. Someone from your studio just asked me if I used to coach him. And I had to put the record straight and say, no, I am actually younger than Matt. No.
Hey,
Matt was, he's a year younger than me. We were apprentices together.
How are you, mate? Now listen, we had a great grounding.
Good,
we had a great grounding in football under Dave Merrington as our youth team coach, and I know what a strict disciplinarian he was. Has he influenced you at all in the way that you manage?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, all the lads who came up through that system through Dave at the time, he was very hard taskmaster, as he'd put it, but I think we all appreciated what he taught us and the disciplines he put into us, and we try to do that with the young players at Colchester, because as Dave used to say to us, that if we're not going to be footballers and you go into another walk of life, he wanted to put good disciplines and good standards in us, which would stay with us forever. And I've got a lot of thank Dave for in my playing career, and like you say, Matt, you know, there's things that he did all those years ago which have stayed with me to this day.
Because this is your first managerial job as well, isn't it, Phil? I'm sure you had a lot of faith in your own ability, but you know, deep down are you surprised it's gone quite so well so quickly?
Well, like I say, I was confident in my ability, but you never know when you come into a job. So I came into the job straight from being a player, and you know, it's you come into the unknown a little bit. You always think when you're a player in your 30s, you know, how you do it if you got the chance, but you never know if it's going to work. But you know, fortunately, when I came into the job, I've got good people working with me with a lot of experience, which has helped me enormously.
And you're up against another old pal today, aren't you? I think you and Phil Brown are mates, aren't you?
Well, I've known Phil for a long time. Used to play for Bury when he was at Bolton, and you know, our goalkeeper Aidan Davison's very good mates with Brownie, and got a lot of respect for Brownie. He's an excellent manager, and you know, we go into this game, you know, with a lot of respect for Derby, and knowing that we've got to be at our best to win the game.
OK, well, look, Phil, the very best of luck today. I'm sure it's going to be your toughest game since you squeaked a win at Hartlepool earlier in the season, but the very best of luck this afternoon.
Cheers, Jeff. Thanks. Bye.
Well, they're the form side in the country, never mind League One. The form side in the country, 17 wins in 19 games. It's absolutely astonishing. Of course, that's a 3 o'clock kick-off at Layer Road today, but a game already well underway as the 12:30 kick-off down at Whaddon Road. Cheltenham